Good morning. This is my daily effort to help keep myself rooted and hopefully to help you stay rooted as well in the God who acts over the course of history. And this is the book I've been reading, Select Letters of John Newton. And John Newton is just an extremely interesting character. And today what I thought I'd do is I'd just share a couple of things. If you aren't familiar with Newton, he was not only someone who was a sailor of the seas. He was a sailor as a young man, but he became the captain of a slave ship, and God saved him out of that kind of lifestyle. The lifestyle of a sailor was it was pretty salty, pretty rebellious to begin with in that time in the early 1700s. But then, as the captain of a slave ship, not only was he witness to, but he was a participant in one of the greatest horrors in all of human history. And yet, it was out of that God saved John Newton, and he became a leader in the abolitionist movement to end the slave trade in England, an advisor and a spiritual confidant to William Wilberforce, who led that move in the British Parliament. And of course, we know probably the words from Amazing Grace, which of course John Newton wrote, which really speak to his own heart. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. He wasn't talking in some abstract theological terms. He was talking very personally. In fact, when John Newton wrote his epitaph, what he wanted to be said of him when he died, this is what he said. He said he wanted it said of him, "Once an infidel and libertine, a servant of slaves in Africa, but by the rich mercy of Jesus Christ, preserved, restored, pardoned, and appointed to preach the faith that he had long labored to destroy." And you know, there's something about that I think we ought to want to be said of us. Not necessarily that we were once a servant of slaves in Africa, of course, but that we actually were recognizing that we have been saved by the rich mercy of Jesus Christ, preserved, restored, pardoned, and then appointed to preach that faith, to be a witness to that which we have personally experienced. So that's John Newton, and just a rich source of encouragement from the past. Let me just close with this morning's psalm. Psalm 70 is what's on my daily listening list today. Verses 4 and 5 of Psalm 70. May all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. May those who love your salvation say evermore, God is great. But I am poor and needy. Hasten to me, O God. You are my help and my deliverer. O Lord, do not delay. Have a great day.